Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. I'm back at it again with another desk video thing, as I want to talk to you today about some desk setup / home office tips that you might find helpful. As what's becoming a tradition on this channel with my desk setup videos, I want to make a few things very clear. At the end of the day, productivity is not about the things you own. It's about your mindset. I started my entire work from home / desk setup journey at the kitchen table with nothing more than a laptop and an old 1080p external monitor. These days, it's easy to go down a rabbit hole of buying things you just don't need. If you're already happy with your setup, then you've already won the game. The tips in this video are things that can potentially help you fine-tune your setup. None of the things that I talk about are necessary for you to be productive, and certainly none of the items that I show you are necessary to buy. Always take your time upgrading your desk setup, and please only purchase products when it's reasonable for you to do so. With that, let's dive into the video. As someone who works from home, having a good chair is obviously helpful. However, they can cost a fortune, and that's not the first tip of this video. No matter what chair you use, having a good footrest is really helpful. It helps alleviate pressure off your lower back and improves your overall posture, which can reduce strain on your legs, hips, and spine. Even if you have a sit-stand desk, using a footrest while sitting can prevent fatigue during those long work sessions. I use the Ergofoam footrest, which has a slight incline and soft cushioning, but no matter what you use, a good footrest can have a noticeable difference and is a fairly small investment that can make you feel just a little more comfortable. Now, I don't like monitor stands as they take up a lot of unnecessary space on the desk, especially these days with some of the larger panels. I mean, the first thing I basically do with any new monitor that I might get is mount it. Using a monitor arm has several advantages. First, it frees up the desk space underneath it and also allows you to better adjust the position of the panel at eye level for better ergonomics. I've found that most monitor stands don't go high enough for my own preference. Last, and this is just my opinion, but it gives the setup a much cleaner look. Most monitors these days are VESA compatible, which effectively means that they can be easily mounted on monitor arms, most of which support that mounting standard. Let's talk about cable management. I'm not the best at this, but I get by. This might seem like a ridiculous tip, but one thing that has made cable management manageable for me has been using Velcro cable ties. Now, much like desktop wallpaper, I tend to change my desk layout from time to time, and it really helps to have the Velcro cable ties versus the traditional zip ties. Simply put, Velcro ties are reusable, easy to adjust, and make your life a lot easier with any sort of future cable management. Now, if you have a sit-stand desk and a PC, another cable management technique I found helpful is to organize all your cables while the desk is at its standing height. Doing this ensures that none of the cables are too short when the desk moves up and down, preventing them from stretching or, worse, getting yanked out of your devices. As a software engineer by day, an important tool for me is the keyboard, as, well, I spend a lot of time typing. I've made my share of keyboard videos so far, but I never talk much about the functional but boring sibling, the all-important wrist rest. There are all sorts of different doohickeys and ergonomic tools out there, but I still like using a simple wrist rest for my work. It helps maintain a more natural wrist position, which reduces the strain on your hands and forearms. When choosing a wrist rest, I do think it's important to match it to the size and height of your keyboard. For example, with my Rogue Azoth, which is a higher profile keyboard, I went with the HyperX wrist rest, which is thicker and much more comfortable for that particular keyboard, but I wouldn't use that same wrist rest with a keyboard like the G915 TKL, which is a lower profile keyboard. One of the best things I've ever purchased for my setup has been a light bar. Seriously. Having a light bar above my monitor has made a huge difference in reducing eye strain, especially during late night work sessions. A light bar provides focused, ambient lighting without causing glare on the screen. Now, unlike a traditional desk lamp, a light bar directs the light down and away from the screen, ensuring your workspace is well lit without the drawback of reflections. Personally, I've been using the original BenQ screen bar on my monitor for years at this point, but I've also used the light bar from Quintus, which is a lot cheaper and still works well. To also help with eye strain, another thing I've found useful is extra bias lighting behind the monitor. This can come from different sources, even from the monitor itself, in the case of the LG 38GA950B with LG sphere lighting that I reviewed, for example. I've gone way too far down the Philips Hue rabbit hole at this point, so I use a combination of two play bars that sit behind the monitor and a light strip around my desk by Philips Hue, but there are also many other options, like simple LED strips around the back of the monitor, which is something I do with the bedroom TV, for example. Or you can go for some cheaper RGB lights from Amazon as well. Whether you're in a shared space or alone in your office, one great thing to get into the zone are a pair of noise-canceling headphones. Whether you're coding, writing, or editing, the ability to focus more deeply without environmental noise can make a big difference to your productivity. Many of these headphones come with a mic, so if you need to hop onto a quick Zoom call, for example, it's seamless to switch between working and having a meeting. If you want to splurge a bit, headphones with ANC or active noise cancellation, like the Sony XM5s, are fantastic, as ANC actively works by picking up outside sound waves and inverting it through a process called phase inversion, which cancels out the sound. ANC is great at reducing constant low-frequency sounds like background chatter. This is opposed to passive noise cancellation with other headphones, whereby the headphone physically cancels out sound with soundproofing materials. If you use a laptop, a good USB dock is a very helpful companion to have. I rely heavily on mine for my content creation workflow, as well as for expanding the limited number of ports on my laptop. It just makes your laptop setup more versatile, especially when it's plugged in at your desk. A good dock can also provide power delivery, so it can charge your laptop while simultaneously powering all of your devices. I use the CalDigit TS4, which unfortunately has continued to get more expensive over the past year and a half since I first bought one. But I will say that the TS4 is awesome with its support for Thunderbolt 4, 98 watts of power delivery through a one cable connection, up to 40 gigabits per second data transfer speeds, which is obviously great with a 4K monitor, not to mention 18 ports of connectivity. This one might sound a bit weird, but in my opinion, keeping your desk area clean and organized is really important. Not only does it make your setup look better, it also improves efficiency. I mean, when everything has its place, you're not wasting time looking for things. Plus, regularly cleaning your desk and equipment can also extend the life of your tech by keeping dust and dirt away. I use a combination of a Swiffer duster, a manual air blower, or a compressed air machine, and microfiber cloths with some plain old water. Since my desk is made of walnut, I tend to refrain from using any chemicals to clean it. Overall, this obviously is a simple habit, but it can make a big difference in creating a more productive and enjoyable work environment. One thing that sometimes can go forgotten is the air quality in your office. This is particularly important if your office is in a closed space or if you have a pet like me. Cleaner air not only makes you feel better, but also helps to protect your tech from reducing the amount of dust that settles on your equipment. An air purifier can be a small addition that can have a big impact on your overall well-being and the longevity of your devices. PC owners will know what I'm talking about when they realize how dusty their hardware can become over time. In my last office, I used one from a brand called Jafonda, which had a cool orange light you could toggle off and on underneath it, and more recently, I picked up a large air purifier from a brand called Blue Air, and another one for my office. The large version can connect to Wi-Fi and has an app which allows you to monitor air quality in real time, adjust the settings, and schedule when it runs. The app also provides insights on filter life, so you know exactly when it needs replacing. The smaller one that I have doesn't connect to Wi-Fi, but has a much smaller footprint, of course, and still works great in this small space. Lastly, to make your own space more inviting, you can personalize your setup and make it your own with different items. The items can be anything. as long as they make you happy. Posters, wall frames, photos, desk collectibles, plants, a favorite mug, all add personality and can make your office uniquely yours. Even a fresh coat of paint can also make an immense difference to the look and feel you're going for. Did I just spit when I said paint? Paint? I also include lighting in this category. Lighting can make or break your desk setup's look and feel, and the right lights in the right places can change the entire mood of your desk setup. The lights you choose to use are a reflection of your own tastes and preferences, so never underestimate the power of a few good lights. Alright, so before we finish the video, I have one more bonus tip, and that is to do whatever makes you happy with your own setup. If you didn't like any of the tips in this video, that's totally fine. These tips are just my own personal opinions that I think could help inspire your space. Ultimately, your setup should reflect your personality, requirements, and preferences. The best workspace, in my opinion, is the one that makes you feel comfortable, productive, and happy. So at the end of the day, you should design it however you like. Just remember, building a desk setup isn't a race. It's a journey, as corny as that sounds, so be sure to take your time doing it. Only buy products when it makes sense to do so. Try not to get caught up in all the new desk toys and goodies that are presented on YouTube, including all of my suggestions, and just don't rush anything. Save up for the thing you really want, as those items will usually last longer anyway. That's about all I have for this one, guys. If you're still here and still watching, thank you very much. Please drop me a nice tips down in the comments below, just so I can give you a like for sticking around until the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting that like button, so I know if you guys want more of these sorts of videos. Also, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you know when I release new videos. Doing all of those things really helps me out in growing this small channel, and I appreciate it very much. I've got more tech, desk setup, and gaming content planned as usual, so please stay tuned for that. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.